continuing learning about stuff. Hi, Julia. It is Sunday, August 3rd, 2025, 9:21 p.m. Pacific, 9:21.
Broadcast and trumpet this message. And in the same way,
Making coffee with my automatic coffee machine from Gaja.
Kind of an ideological playbook about the crime that immigrants bring, about the way they depress wages, about how they change the culture of America and make it unrecognizable to the Americans who were born here. So he is in some ways a collator, both of people and ideas that becomes.
What are you talking about? Sorry,
I think very instrumental because now you can give people just a ready-made playbook, a ready-made playbook that they can just flip open to and see all the stats that he has pulled together from.
Yeah, I'm in the future.
Some very kind of fringe or right-wing sources. It's much easier than having to go dig it up yourself. He was able to get a lot of people on the same page very quickly.
Give me the reputation of.
Putin wrote to war interview frontline. Your next interview is.
So at the time, Jeff Sessions was the son.
Oh, we're talking about Stephen Miller.
Who I think was often made fun of for the way he talked.
I remember now. Santa Monica guy.
Especially on issues of immigration.
I mean, I kind of like the guy. He's okay.
Terrorism.
Julia.
Foreign policy. He was, or actually no, not foreign policy. That's what I think why people.
He's domestic policy. Stephen Miller's domestic
policy. Were surprised when he became one of the foreign policy task people on the Trump campaign.
Bannon invites them.
Wrote the war 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
His role at
Putin and the president 2 years ago. You have a lot
between them.
I have 4 of these to go through from Frontline, and then so I will tell you what they. 2 years ago,
where they talk about these issues. They talk about immigration as something that's very important for future elections. They talk about.
I almost recognize this guy's voice.
Where did the white voters go? Do you know anything about that? That meeting?
No, what are you talking about?
I don't know about the meeting. I know that they worked very closely together.
Talk about the relationship they had. This is, by the way, we're going to lead up to the Gang of Eight thing in a second. This is at a time when even Fox is supportive of the Gang of Eight reform and such. But these three.
In the future, the entire United States Senate, probably the entire United States Congress knows who I am. By the year 2024 and 2025,
and
the entire United States government knows who I am. Yeah.
To that,
and I still haven't gotten a phone call from the White House to get a job. And you're smart enough to realize why. Because I tell the president, hey, today's day is August 3rd, 2025. Y'all haven't called me yet and then give me a job in the White House. They can't do it. Causality. If you break causality, the consequences are absolutely bad.
And Breitbart was a key part of that.
Yeah, anyway.
He worked very hard.
What is the topic of it?
Cultivate ties with
zero tolerance
Breitbart reporters as well as Steve Bannon, and he would feed them scoops. They would cover everything
during the making of zero tolerance.
Jeff Sessions did and everything that Stephen Miller did.
So this is not about.
They created this.
Frontline's transformation.
It was this kind of one-stop shop, right? It was where the Jeff Sessions office and Breitbart kind of melded into one. And was kind of
you want to know about the future?
Tell the difference.
I think you're right about the fact that
Trump,
in a way, Sessions' offices became a think.
This is 10 years ago.
Explain.
Miller's added value was that he.
Are you kidding me? 7 years ago, MIT
crystallize, organize, collate the messaging and the ideas that have been kind of
7 years ago.
This part of
there's Alexis
ecosystem.
Cutie Pie Alexis 7 years ago. Cutie Pie Alexis was just tiny young girl.
They had been thinking about these ideas in the office for years, and they were just kind of ideas floating in the
This is what's going to happen.
And they didn't really quite know what to do.
Immigration.
And Stephen Miller comes in there and takes a very organized approach. Crystallizes some of these ideas, organizes them, figures
basically,
out how to get into the right-wing media to change that discourse from the right. Figures out how to push.
You know how President
on this issue, and I think he is good at working in the background.
I'll just tell you.
And,
in
shifting
June,
window
the
for
gotaways
the right
for
This is
immigration on the
after
southern border
2012
is
elections,
0.
and there's a GOP
In June
autopsy
2025, they
that
got
happens,
away
and the
for,
general feeling amongst the
for like,
Republicans
I mean, it doesn't count. It doesn't count people that went through the border. We just didn't catch them. But the United States border in the year 2005 is absolutely shut down. Illegal immigration from the southern border has completely stopped. Once President Trump gets elected in 2025, you don't really need any immigration bill. You don't really need. I mean, we do pass the money for the immigration bill to fund ICE, but illegal immigration has stopped in the United States completely. And I am not joking. I mean, Julia, I don't know if you know the man that's telling you. I never lied to you. I'm trying to find.
How important the part do they play in trying to defeat it?
No, 25
Well, their
immigration
view is
numbers.
this is kind of a
Let me
weak
see if I
sauce
can find.
compromise that would just
Oh,
let
no,
more
no, no,
immigrants
no,
into the
no.
country, which is the last thing that this country needs.
Trump
And
administration, if I look at successful,
again, their
half a
view
million
is that
immigrants. And
immigrants bring
temporary
disease,
protected
they
status
bring
is all
crime,
been-
they depress
yeah.
wages
It's
for
temporary, yeah.
native-born workers, that they change the culture, that they all vote Democrat. You know, it's again,
that's not the message they used to win.
Percolating in the
It's
right
they're
way,
rapists and murderers, and
kind of
in the year
ideological
2024,
ecosystem
a lot of
since
women
the
get
passage
raped and
of
killed by illegal
immigration
immigrants,
from,
and President Trump successfully
1965
used.
that let in more people from non-European countries. I think one of the key things that Stephen Miller did was that he also was able to reach out to
Yeah.
people who then became these kinds of
Yeah,
figureheads,
Yeah.
or kind of
That's
the
not
perfect
for me.
victims of immigration. That he was able to make a spectacle.
Yeah,
of this.
basically the
He was
perfect.
able to, he reached out to Kate Steinle's family, the young woman who was killed in San
That
Francisco.
happens a lot
by-
more in future because it's more brutal.
by an illegal immigrant.
During the Biden
And he
administration,
was
that's going.
one of the people
President Biden's
who
going to win the
were
election,
very
but
instrumental in making her into this cause celeb, this kind of martyr of the anti-immigrant nativist right
I don't know about Charlie Kirk. I
He reached
mean,
out to
they
the
always
Disney
see people that are
worker
famous and
was
they don't have
forced to train
superpowers.
his foreign
I don't know
replacements,
why.
and then became
3
an
months
activist
ago.
against kind of corporate abuse of the H-1B visa. Stephen
Have I
brought
seen
him,
this?
or Stephen Miller had Sessions invite him to testify in the Senate against kind of the abuses of the
This is,
immigration system.
No,
and
I
how
think
it
I've
affects
seen it,
American-born
so I can't.
workers.
You know,
So
Julia,
he
I
was
can't
able to
watch
kind of also
something
put
twice,
faces
right?
to the idea that made it very hard for people to say, okay, well, you don't matter, but because we just need this broader,
Stephen Miller doesn't have that much
this broader immigration
interviews that I
reform.
can actually talk to him
And
about.
I think this was the seed of the Republican Party in 2016,
You know, Rory, that's
completely
what it's,
reversing their position from the
This is
autopsy
the
of
deputy chief
2012,
of
which
staff.
was
He's the
saying, you know
deputy
what?
chief of staff.
We're never going to win the Hispanic voters. We should just mobilize more white voters and play to their kind of cultural, racial grievances.
Well, anyway,
whether they have
it
them or
is-
not,
it is-
let's play them up, amplify them.
I mean,
and get them
I mean, it's just a few minutes or more for me. It's been
Bannon at the same time
2 years for you, right? I
during
mean,
this fight. I mean,
talk to your grandmother. And if you, I mean, I don't know. You will not be able to travel to Russia and freely because of the pandemic, you know. So, and the virus is binding the binding protein is ACE2, ACE2.
Their role.
And you know ACE is what Ace of Spades, the ace, in the deck of card ace. So that's the protein, and there's something called the Human Protein Atlas on the internet. So go on the internet, go search Human Protein Atlas, and then you find the Human Protein Atlas, and then go on the Human Protein Atlas, and then punch in
starting in high school,
ACE2
which
into
is,
the
if you're not getting
human
your
protein.
way,
And look at all the parts of the human body has ACE2.
go far outside of it,
Brain,
to
brain,
talk radio,
brain. I mean,
to
Jesus.
whatever media platform is willing to listen to you, make a huge fuss that becomes a huge enough
Tissue
fuss that
protein.
it affects the game in the kind of in the main arena
Tissues.
and gives you it shifts the outcome in your favor. And I
Yeah.
think this is what he did.
Proton
in
expression in the
2013,
brain is
2014 with the
rawness
immigration
is pretty
debate.
low,
You know, Fox
but that's
was
not the problem.
not on board.
High expression in the
He and
respiratory,
Sessions,
gastrointestinal
were
tract, your
saying,
intestines.
He found other voices.
High
He
expression
found
in liver,
filters
gallbladder.
and the Tucker
High expression in the
Carlsons,
pancreas.
who were starting to have these ideas
Pancreas
of
as in
nativism and
this
culture
virus
and
can cause diabetes.
whiteness,
High expression in
immigration,
kidney, urinary bladder, high
reaching out
expression
to
in
them
male
and
tissue,
using
high
them
expression in
as
female
kind of
tissue.
mouthpieces, reaching out
Testicles,
to Breitbart, which
ovaries,
was then
breasts,
still a
muscle
very
tissue
kind of
a little bit,
scrappy, very
bone and
fringe
lymphatic tissue a little bit.
operation, and making them also feel
Yeah, placenta,
using that
fallopian
to
tubes,
get his message across, but also
appendix,
making them feel important,
seminal
building them
vesicles,
up,
epidermis, seminal.
cultivating
You know what seminal vesicles
relationships
is,
with
right?
Breitbart
You know the
reporters,
stuff that
which
makes
was
sperm, makes
Breitbart
babies. You know that thing that
himself, then
nobody
with
seems to need, right?
Steve Bannon.
And
And
kidney,
he was very
pancreas,
clever about
gallbladder,
it,
liver,
right?
rectum,
He
colon,
did
small
what every
intestine,
journalist wants. He fed them
bronchus,
scoop after
and
scoop after
there's
scoop first,
something
right?
else.
And in gratitude for that,
Do you know what I'm assuming
Breitbart
you're
brought
a
up everything
brilliant woman,
sessions
but you
did,
don't know what an
everything Mueller
astrocyte
did,
is.
and this
Astro
kind
is
of,
sky and sight means cell.
helped
Astrocyte in your
hold
brain.
thoughts and some of the
There's something
more
called
mainstream
glial cells,
media
Glial. They're
They
immune
lost-
cells inside your human brain. You know what a human brain's made out of, right? You got some neuron brain cells. They do the process, electrical stuff. But there are other cells inside your brain that support that brain. I mean, those cells feed the brain. They regulate, they form the blood-brain barrier. They make sure the brain doesn't get infected by things. And astrocytes and glial cells are the immune cells inside your brain, and those cells get infected by. And one of the things that the astrocytes do when your neurons are trying to form connections, memories. When your brains are trying to form memories with your thing, the astrocytes actually help the neurons get into their final position, and the brain cells get into a final orientation. And those connections in your brain cells is what makes a memory, makes your thought, makes your
I
thoughts.
think it was again.
And when the
it was this
astrocytes are
tactic of
infected
you
and
can't get
killed,
what you want.
they are only replaced
you're
by
in that
stem
attic,
cells
go
inside your
outside
brain
of it,
that makes
go to the
more
fringes,
astrocytes.
Find the people.
Astrocytes, because immune cells usually come from your bone
and hold
marrow.
them in
White blood cells usually come from your
to
bone
the
barrier.
stage. And I think
If you don't
that
know,
was
I don't know how much you know
partly
about
why
your
he
immune
went over to the
system.
Trump campaign.
Your sister's a doctor. She will
Partly
actually.
why he
I actually
forged
started
this
tweeting
relationship with
you
Steve Bannon
during
and
the
Breitbart.
pandemic, and
Breitbart back then
and
was
talked to the-
it was so
talk to-
fringe, you know.
and I had no idea you.
He found
There's
these
gonna be
people
some guy
kind of-
tweeting you, quote
kind of
tweeting you. You probably get tweeted by millions of people, right? So you
kind
never
of
noticed.
putting
but-
together a coalition out of them slowly
But anyway,
but surely. He made them more of a force to be reckoned with instead of these kind
This
of
is the problem of the
yipping
virus.
voices on the fringe that
And
have
also-
no impact
and also-
on them.
This virus is a coronavirus. A coronavirus it looks like corona because when you look at it under the microscope, it looks like it's crown. So it's a coronavirus. The virus is a coronavirus, and usually coronaviruses are very big. And this virus is actually pretty small. So you need N95 masks. So right now, you're doing this interview in October 22nd, 2019. This virus is already spreading in China. So it starts in China.
That's what
So
he did in 2015 as well, right?
so buy a lot of N95 masks.
Not only helped bash Marco Rubio.
I don't
who
know.
was
Because
early
if you
on
buy
one
a
of
lot of
the villains
N95
the
masks and you
Republican
send
primary,
it to your
which he did, by the
grandmother,
way, from his
she
Senate
would
office
share
and his
with her
Senate email,
co-workers instead of
violating
just using it
certain,
herself. And
ethics rules. He
So,
jumped on
I
very
mean,
early with
how much
the
money do you
Trump
got?
campaign, which
I would buy a
really
whole
got
warehouse of
cheers
N95
from
masks.
Ann Coulter, who tweeted that she's in heaven when he was hired.
So
And it was one of the
you need
ways
about
that he
18
got
months of
Sessions
N95 masks,
closer to
one
the
mask per day
Trump
per adult,
campaign. It's why
at
Sessions
least,
became
possibly
one of the
two
first
dozen
senators,
also.
sitting senators
And,
to endorse Donald Trump, which then
Yeah,
gave
so
Trump
do the
more
math
of a boost
yourself.
in them.
18
Yeah,
months
he
of
started
toilet.
creating
Buy
these
toilet paper, by the way.
kind of symbiotic
Buy 18 months
relationships and
supplies
making
of
it
toilet
instead
paper
of
for
one
all your
lone
loved
voice
ones,
in the
and
wilderness saying something about how
bleach.
immigrants are
18
killing
months
us,
supplies of
getting
bleach,
more and more
18
people
supplies of
together
Clorox
and getting
disinfectant
them on the
wipes.
same page,
Nobody can buy it.
rhetorically, ideologically.
I go to Costco, I light up,
But
I go to
he
search for
was
it, there's no,
instrumental in getting
that's it.
Sessions to endorse
I mean, we
Trump
don't run out of
so
food,
early on.
we don't run out of vegetables, we don't run out of
And
anything.
I think that
Costco has everything, but no
he
toilet
saw in
paper.
Trump what
No
he
toilet
had seen
paper,
in
no
Sessions
bleach,
early
no
on.
Clorox
It's
disinfectant
this
wipes,
kind of
no any 95 masks on the
voice
internet for 18
on
months.
the fringes,
18 months.
in the kind of political wilderness, saying what he
The
had always
vaccine is
believed,
ready
which is
in
that
December
immigrants are
2020
killing
next
us,
year.
Literally,
December.
they
None
killing
of
our
this will.
culture, killing our
They are literally
women.
teaching
I mean, it's like straight up redemption kind
Wait,
rhetoric. driving down our wages.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
He jumps on with those people and very early on, right? Like
This is not about Putin. I won't learn about
French
Putin, but
that,
this is not about movie.
is in ideological alignment with him.
Making sure that your
and goes
family.
on.
As far as I know, only your grandmother and Emma
down
and.
in Alabama.
I mean,
Sessions
talk to her as much as you
done
can, you
the-
know,
the,
because
MAGA cap.
December
How
2020
important
next year,
was that
because
moment
she's
for Senator Sessions
she gives her
to
life
come up
saving
with the-
other
the
people, you know.
campaign?
she gets sick from the virus and then she doesn't make it.
So
I'm so sorry.
that was a crazy moment. If you recall.
knowing when your
This
grandma's gonna
was
die, right?
2 months after Donald Trump rode down the gilded escalator, delivered that racist anti-immigrant speech.
Ah, that's the
Everyone
thing.
was still, Jeb Bush was still in the lead.
Not racist.
Marco Rubio
When he
was
says
still
rapists and murderers,
one of the potential
President
darlings
Trump
of the
heard me in
Republican
1987 asking
Everybody
me.
thought Donald
I
Trump
asked
was
him in
gonna be a total
1987, 9 years before.
at a time
9 years before
outside
Alexis
in,
Sport, I
he's
asked
maybe
him
running
if
this
he's willing to
campaign
save
improve his
Alexis'
own
mother
brand.
from
No one
breast
can really
cancer.
say why he's doing it. all of
And
a sudden, a
he was
city
willing to pay for
senator
it.
Invites him down
The
to
problem
Mobile.
was,
They have a huge rally, and
I
not
still
only
live
does
in a
he
timeline
endorse
where
it, he
her
puts on
sister,
this
I mean
act that
her
was already then ahead of
her
this league, and that was
mother
already
still died
then
from stage 4
starting to
breast cancer.
become
And by now, you would have found
code
Which Alexis. Cutie pie
a certain
Alexis with a
nativist,
mother died from
populist message.
for
And
stage 4 breast cancer.
It gave Donald Trump
And,
legitimacy that he didn't have.
Had a horrible
Again,
boyfriend
a
that
sitting
was
US
abused
senator
her.
endorsing him
Horrible
in
boyfriend.
such
The woman that
theatrical,
I could not
physical way.
protect because
Also,
I walked away from her
but
life
at
in the
same
past
time,
because
I
she had a
remember lot of people
boyfriend.
dismissing it, being like, "Well,
That-
that's just
that-
Jeff Sessions. He's crazy. He's
that
the keyboard
Jay
elf of the
Alvarez-
Senate."
Jay Alvarez'
It
boyfriend,
doesn't
I
really
saw
matter
it, I
who-
walked away from her life, and I
he's
did not
endorsing.
protect her
And it's just one of
when I was
these,
young.
Um,
And when I walked away from her life, I
you know,
walked
think
away
the
from
story
my
of Sessions,
from
of
my
Trump, of
time
Miller,
powers.
of Bannon, and all of this.
Well, I don't
is-
know. All of these powers, people want power.
It's hard to think about this now because they have all become such powerful outsized figures.
It's all about power.
Stephen Miller.
Stephen Miller's the one
of
that's
few people that's
still.
been able to hold on in the Trump White House for this
He's still in the
long.
second Trump
drives a
term
lot of
after
policy.
in 2005.
And Miller and Sessions and Bannon. I mean, Bannon told us. we've done
Sessions
one
and Bannon are no
where
longer in
he
the
said
White
that
House,
Trump
so
to him was an imperfect vessel.
and that's the
I think
thing.
Miller felt that, okay, I can work with this. I can get in there, I can hone the message, I can perfect the message, I can make this work better.
President Trump is actually
This will be
a different man than the first.
This will be my vehicle to get my ideas, to further my ideas.
He's gonna not
They
be
saw a guy
successfully
run for
impeached, by the way.
president who had the money.
The pandemic changes everybody, and somebody tries to kill President. You're drinking coffee too. Somebody's gonna try to kill President Trump, but he says he doesn't. It didn't change him because he doesn't have time to think about it. He doesn't want to think about it. So I don't know, but I can't imagine a bullet passing through your ear. Somebody shot at President Trump, and the bullet takes out top of his ear.
Well, I think Donald Trump
Yeah.
attracted them
Assault rifle
because
bullet, by the way.
he was
Anyway.
the iconoclast that they had been as well. They were just doing
I
it
kind of remember what
on the
iconoclast
fringes.
is.
They were saying these things. I mean, Stephen Miller's whole career was.
Someone who cherishes beliefs.
If you look back to his high school career, his college career, he was Donald Trump. He was
not
the
cherished
crazy
beliefs. Someone
guy
with not cherished beliefs.
saying
Yeah.
crazy inflammatory things that infuriated everyone, but got everyone to pay attention to him and force them to grapple with his ideas. He would, again, in his college columns and his radio appearances when he was
Andrew
in high
didn't
school,
help President Trump during his administration
in
at all.
his editorial about
From
his high
2016
school
to
that
2020.
Osama bin Laden would have been right at home at Santa Monica High School. He
Santa Monica High School. I mean, Pacific Palisades High School burns down.
the debate by saying.
Hey, you want to know something interesting, Alexis? No,
right? And
so, first time I see
in
Alexis'
some ways,
boyfriend, three
that's
cities
what
in
Trump
Los Angeles
is.
burnt
And
down.
when you
Second
see him
time we
doing
see
that,
Alexis' boyfriend.
saying things that
The U.S.
nobody's
government
willing
had to
to
crash
say.
a helicopter into an airplane, kill 67
taking
people.
on
Third time we see the boyfriend.
correctness and kind of
Biblical flooding
what
in
you
Kansas.
aren't allowed to say in Washington. And
Fourth
in
time I
public
see-
political
heard the
discourse, just
boyfriend. I did
taking
not
a
see the
sledgehammer
boyfriend.
to it. I think
Fourth time I
Stephen
hear
Miller
the
saw that and
boyfriend
said,
talk to the
"That's perfect,
boyfriend
that's
with
my guy."
Alexis, and
So Miller ends
8.8
up being
earthquake,
the
tsunami. 8.8 earthquake, tsunami the day after. I mean, I see the boyfriend, something bad happens
take
immediately
us
after. I see the boyfriend, something bad
one of those
happening in the
moments
world. I mean,
where
I don't
he
know what
comes
to
out
think,
on the
Julia, with
stage
that.
and is giving
It looks
the
like God
warm
is
back
giving a
for
subtle
the
hint to
big,
Alexis that
part of the
maybe
show
don't
where
date
Donald Trump
the
is gonna walk out.
possible
Number one,
Antichrist
how does he
boyfriend.
become that
Because
for
you
Donald
you
Trump?
know
So,
this virus
you
is a
know,
pestilence,
was
right? The Bible,
sometimes on the Trump
4
jet,
horsemen of the
sometimes
apocalypse,
not on the Trump
war,
jet.
famine,
Sometimes
pestilence,
he was helping
death.
write speeches. Sometimes he was making sure
And,
an Uber.
I apologize
where
that
it
I
was
could not
supposed to go.
resurrect your
But one day
grandmother,
he's
but
telling
I do
Donald Trump
resurrect
about
some people
how
sometimes.
he fought Marco
Which is pretty
Rubio
cool,
on
right?
immigration reform.
That's why I
This
try.
It
Usually doesn't work. Usually I tell somebody
and
they're
Trump
gonna die, they just die.
says,
you know.
"All right, we'll take it to the stage.
But sometimes
Do that."
I
And
bring people
I
back to
think it
life.
kind of took
That's why I give it a
Hicks
try.
and Corey Lewandowski
And I
by
think this
surprise
one
with
with
the
your
agreement to
grandmother,
do it, 'cause that was the boss's.
she was
the
not
tough
willing to
decision.
let
And
her
that was
duties
it.
go.
He became the hype man.
because your
How
grandmother
good
wants
he
to
got.
save lives, and she was not willing to say, "Hey, I don't want to." I mean, my granddaughter was
So
telling me to
watching
stay home and
Stephen
not help
Miller
people,
warm up
and
the
she's like,
crowd is
she didn't listen to
so
you basically.
bizarre.
I think if you
he.
tell her to stay home starting from
He's
October,
not a
you know.
naturally charismatic speaker.
It
He's
won't-
not
I mean,
a
you
naturally
can
charismatic
try.
person. He's
Tell your
very
grandmother.
rigid. His face doesn't really
Mm.
move. You know, his eyes barely blink. It's
Yeah.
just his mouth kind of droning and droning and droning, and he is. He uses very florid language. You know, he doesn't use the kind of simple, punchy, repetitive language that Donald Trump does. He speaks in these very artful constructions.
And who are you talking about?
But somehow he would have this magic effect on the crowd. It was strange. I mean, it was why I decided to write about this guy. I came to a rally in Milwaukee to see First Lady Melania Trump speak, because Donald Trump was being attacked for
Yeah,
all the things he had said.
grab one by the pussy. I mean,
And so the campaign finally tried out Melania Trump to address this issue and to say how great actually Donald Trump was for women.
well,
and
that's the
this guy comes
thing.
out, you know, there was a black preacher, there was a local politician, there was somebody else, and then this guy comes out in a dark suit with his slick back hair and his huge shiny
You were there,
forehead.
okay.
And I mean, he just looks like he's from the 1930s or 40s, you know, and you almost, when he starts talking, you almost
posture.
want to hear him say, or can expect to
posture.
hear him say, like,
1 second.
and that's the truth, say.
Yeah.
But he just, his face doesn't move,
Is that what
his
I
eyes don't blink, he's just.
The
droning
Alexis
on
and
about
Allie
how
has.
immigrants
That's
are
all,
killing
folks.
us,
Is that? Do I
about
sound
how,
like Porky Pig? Do I sound like Porky Pig?
about
I
how the
don't know.
elites look down on you. It's all this kind of
Inside your
paranoid
head, I
fever
mean.
dream that he's telling the
trying to
audience
find
about,
my,
again, in very florid, complex constructions, and the crowd is loving it. And I remember turning to some of the people who were embedded with the Trump campaign, who at the time were like 20-somethings who had been relegated to the campaign that seemed to matter the least. And I was like, who is that guy?
Who is it? Oh.
And they said, oh, that's Stephen Miller. That's
Oh.
that's the one who brings the crazy.
So
Is what they
that's just
said.
assuming more.
Um,
What would that mean?
Well, that's interesting.
well, because he, again, it's hard to talk about this now that Donald Trump is president and has been president for 2 years, because so much of this has been normalized and kind of metabolized.
2 years.
At the time, he was still.
This is released
He was
October
very
22nd,
fringe. He seemed so
2019
fringe.
on the YouTube.
And this guy was fringier than
2 years?
Donald Trump. And
2 years
he
would have been
was
7,
out
8,
there talking about.
Should be 3 years.
um,
So they
these
released this a
crazy
little bit.
conspiracies about.
I mean,
the you know, he was
The
talking
date
about the
this went
convergence
on
of the
YouTube is October
globalist
22nd,
elite and how they're
2019, but
working
doesn't
to
necessarily
humiliate
what your
and,
date is, right?
keep
You might have
the
more time with your
rhetoric
grandmother.
down, and how the immigrants were all coming in here to kill Americans, and you know, there was time to take the country back.
Ah,
It was just.
that's the thing.
It sounded crazier than Donald Trump.
What President Trump said is
And
all
I think
true
that's why,
after
you know, if you
the
listen to his
Biden
words,
administration.
It's crazier than Donald Trump.
Then that's the problem.
weird
What
to me
happens
that
if you
he
know the
was able
future,
to
you
get
try to
the
change the
crowd so
future, and then
riled
people don't listen to you?
With
This
that
is what
message,
happened with the
because
Trump
he didn't
administration.
have
The horrible things that he says going to happens
he doesn't
after
have the
Biden
traditional
becomes
kind of,
president.
He's not an uplifting speaker. He's not.
All the horrible things
You
was
know,
going to come
and in some
true
ways it's-
because
in some ways,
President Trump heard me
like
tell him
Donald
that he was
Trump
going
is
to be
also
president in
traditionally
1987.
an inspiring speaker.
I mean, I tried to
He
ask
just
Donald Trump
kind
to
of
save
rambles
Alexis
off the
Mother's
cuff,
life,
repeats
and he
the
couldn't
same
do it
thing
because
over and over again,
yeah,
and gets the crowd riled up that way.
yeah.
Um,
President Trump can hear me just
It
like you
was
can,
this-
Jyoti. So
I don't know. I had never seen anything
that's
like
the
it.
thing. I
And
mean,
of
because
course,
at the time when he was running the president, it sounds like he's being,
Trump
it almost
to-
sounds like he's being racist,
I mean,
right?
why
Rapists
is
and
Trump
murderers.
So
It's the future.
why does
It's the future
Miller,
that absolutely happens, and he tried to
become
change
such a
that future
favorite,
and try to save
sort
some
of,
women's lives, and he
person on the
failed.
campaign
President
for
Trump absolutely
and
failed
eventually
because people
the
didn't
guy
listen to
who
him.
outlasts
And people think,
and
okay, he's just being
outlasts
racist.
Sessions.
No, he knows the future.
What
He's trying to
about
prevent the
him? So
future,
draws,
and he
Trump to
failed.
him.
And this
Well,
happens
I
so
think,
often in humanity. I tell people the
Miller,
future, and they fail to change it
some of
because
the other
if
Trump
they
advisors
succeeded, there's a possibility I do
Stanford's
not send that
was
information
never
backwards in time
supposed to
in
be
the
an
first
adult
place, right?
in the room that
Critical
that
thinking skills.
keeps Trump on a shorter leash.
That
and
is
tries
definitely
to
one of
mitigate some
the
his
most
worst
people think
instincts.
like that,
If
Julia.
anything, he's saying go bigger, go harder, go.
Most people
go
think that the
tougher.
timeline is like if you
And
actually
he's very
alter the
loyal.
timeline,
And he also is a really.
I would not exist.
really
And sometimes that is
operator.
actually
he was
true.
Able to, he was
Well,
he
I-
shared this
I-
even during the campaign.
And what
You know, the campaign
what
was
it
losing
means
people
for
all the time.
reality,
We don't
Julia,
remember
is
this
that
now, because we think about all the people
you
who
can
have
actually
left the
get
White House.
information
But
from
the
an
same thing was
alternate
happening during the
reality,
campaign.
me.
How many campaign
Well,
managers did they
not
get? How many
in this universe, 'cause I'm recording this on my
who
phone
else
with the
did they
actual
go from?
rock solid
And
table.
Miller was able to navigate all
And
that
I will
by
flag you on
deftly
Instagram and
making sure he
Twitter.
curried favor with every single.
so not in this
camp
timeline because
was
this
it
conversation is
Warren
absolutely going to
camp,
take place in the
competing
universe I
camp
live in,
within
and
the
you,
campaign, and I think he's
the
done
you
the
that
same in the
lives
White
with
House.
me in
I think
my
any
future
political speechwriter will tell you that
will
you
absolutely
have to get
remember
really good
this.
at learning how to channel your boss's voice or the
Yeah.
the person you're writing.
There's
for.
a
You have to just
possibility
know
that
and feel
some
their
people
voice.
on this
And
planet
He
has
was able to do
heard
that for sessions. That's what
information from
everybody who
Andrew
worked
from
with
another
both of them
universe
told me
that they
was
then
he,
erased.
even when Sessions wasn't
So
there,
that Andrew
having
doesn't
Miller there
exist.
was
So
like having Sessions there. That he was so able to
receiving
inhabit
information
that
from a
role
universe that
voice
doesn't
and persona.
exist, and then
I think he's been able to do that.
I
for
think
Trump
that is
as well.
possible because it's the
And
only way that this
I
will
think
happen with
somebody like
Alexis
Trump who loves
can happen in the
people
first
to flatter
place.
him and build him up, and,
And
not
And
not
I
only to not control
I don't know
him,
what
but
happens to
push
the
him
other
further.
universe that
And
now no
more.
longer
I think he really
exists.
appreciates that.
I mean, does it
Um,
actually keep on going,
Sorry,
Julia? I don't know. It's basically a multiverse.
Tell us a little bit more about
Does that
Santa Monica,
multiverse continue going on?
Santa Monica.
I don't
the
know.
parents, the
And can that
siblings,
multiverse still
migration
send information back to a shared
red
past?
state blue.
I think about it real hard, Julia, because
Talk a
that
little bit about it and how
multiverse
he
is
turns
living
even more
into
conservative
with a
as
different
the
timeline,
ways and,
with slightly different decisions from
I
people
see.
from that
Yeah.
timeline.
Ironically, Stephen Miller grows up in this ultra liberal
Yeah.
Santa Monica.
Does that other Andrew have
Yeah.
access to our shared past?
Wealthy,
Because they wouldn't be able to
elitist,
send information in
liberal,
the
all
past where
things
I live
that
in.
He claims to hate these
right?
days. His parents were.
But there
Jewish
must be some
Democrats,
moment where
well-to-do
the
lawyers and
line
salesmen,
timeline
which you can see
forks,
in his blood.
and then both of
Or in his
us
manner of
would be
speaking,
able to
he
send
doesn't sell
information
things,
into
he
that
knows how to
shared
litigate
past,
things.
right?
I think not out of a contrarian impulse, but when he
Imagine
was a
that,
teenager,
what
he
I'm
picked
telling
up
you to tell you,
an
Julia.
issue of Guns and Ammo
How far back, right?
and started.
Because the
reading
moment you actually create that
He
other
also
Andrew,
picked up Wayne Lapierre's 1994 book.
you
about
start creating a
crime
different
and
world.
guns,
and does that
he
different
claims
timeline have
that that
access
was
to
kind of
my
a
timeline?
revelatory
Because thinking about it, so let's
time.
say you fork the
And
timeline in
he started- he kind of
2019.
went all in
right?
with the zeal of the converted.
So that
he
Andrew is
started
2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. It's different than my
Yeah.
2020, 2021, 2022, 23, 24, 25. So I should be, he would be communicating.
became incensed
from that
the high
timeline,
school
right?
didn't have a mandatory pledge of
Does that
allegiance anymore.
mean,
So when he tried to take it
right,
to the
because
the high school said no. He took it
he
to
and that Andrew and me
local
would
talk
have the
radio.
same
they created
2028,
a
2018,
fuss, and the
right?
school was forced to.
So what happens
in Miller's
if
favor
both of us try
and
to
start
communicate
saying
to 2018?
start saying the Pledge of Allegiance
I know, right?
twice a week. I think he was.
And that's what I'm trying to
seeing,
tell you what happens when people try to change the
Hispanics come
timeline.
into his high school who didn't speak English
Because
very well.
if I tell you about the future and you don't do anything to change it,
Incensed
then
about that,
you don't
that they
generate.
were changing kind of the fabric of his school,
Mhm.
the fabric of his community. I believe he had a
If I tell
Hispanic
you something
friend
and
in
you
high
don't
school
change
that he later
anything,
told
I mean,
he
there's no
couldn't be
alternate
friends with
timeline.
because of his Hispanic heritage.
Andrew,
Then,
and it's only one Andrew.
9/11 happens.
And this is what
and
happens when.
In the kind of
What happens if somebody decides to change the timeline?
in the mood of the the
And
mood
I
of the
do
country
not
back
know.
then, if you recall, is
I have
everybody's
no
kind of
idea.
banging the war drum and
Andrew
you
has
gotta
no idea.
take the fight to
None
Al
whatsoever.
Qaeda, etc.
Absolutely
In
no idea
Santa
what's
Monica,
whatsoever.
there was obviously some liberal kind of peacenik
Alexis
resistance
was
to
born in
this,
Santa Monica.
and Miller alleges
She grew up
that,
in Santa
the
Monica, kind of
American
poor.
flag was being dragged across
Her
the
father
ground
was a
and that
lawyer. Her
they were
mother was a
more sympathetic
nutritionist.
to the terrorists
and,
than they
her mother
were
died
to the
from
Americans who died, and 9/11 becomes this kind
breast
of
cancer. stage 4 breast cancer.
It's hard to tell if
And
it's
then-
an
and then her
obsession
father is
or if
horrible.
It becomes a really good tactic.
Her father,
Yeah,
after
he
after
did
her mother
wrestle
died,
for
her
him
father told her
to,
who's gonna make me breakfast now.
Troll
And she
liberals
was
and
talking about she have a
back
6-year-old
them into a
son
corner
that
where
has
they
to be
can't
raised. And,
say they can't not agree with him,
Yeah.
right? Like, well, yes, of course we respect the victims of 9/11, right?
The connection to David
Talking-
Horowitz.
Mhm.
Well, I think I've given
why
you
was that
enough
important?
about
Because
the
it-
pandemic
you're right,
for you
it-
to
It starts in high school.
drink coffee, no water. I'm thirsty.
He becomes a mentor. Why?
Mentor.
Why? What does that?
That's the thing. Alexis has
Why is
something
that
called
important?
Mentor Me.
So David Horowitz plays a really important role
I don't
in
really
Stephen
know.
Miller's life. He becomes a mentor to him early on, and then also becomes a cudgel, which Miller uses to beat up the administration. of
I'm
Bush
probably
when
picking
he's
my
there.
nose.
He invites him to speak, then claims that the speech was canceled when in fact it wasn't canceled and was in fact carried live on
Oh.
C-SPAN. He makes David Horowitz,
Yeah.
or he helps
Stephen Miller's
David
gonna
Horowitz
absolutely
be
love
what
this
David
one.
Horowitz wants to be, which is this kind of meat cleaver.
He's asymmetrical slamming
Forcing
contempt and
the administration to do the things he
Okay.
the college administration to do the things Miller wants
oh,
in
8 minutes of I need
bringing
to watch you start watching
Horowitz's
it on my
agenda to yet
laptop.
another
you know.
campus. And Horowitz is also super influential because he
Stephen Miller.
then introduces
I have no idea what horror is.
Stephen Miller to Jeff Sessions, and this is how he gets a job in Jeff Sessions' office, which is how he gets the job in the Donald Trump campaign. So Horowitz is kind of his Sherpa around this world.
What
was very
would you
fringy
like
all the
to
time.
not?
And Horowitz in his sort of organizations of pushing
Voice breaking news.
conservatives on college campuses to make a fuss about freedom of speech. Just talk a little bit
I mean, he
about how he ties
doesn't
in.
sit down interviews
Yeah.
basically. I mean,
So Horowitz was kind of out in front on this issue,
I have no idea.
saying that our universities have become
8 years ago.
these hotbeds of radical leftism, that
11 months ago.
conservative,
Oh, that's
there's
good.
no
I mean,
conservative faculty, that conservative ideas are not only not discussed but are roundly trashed, and that universities have become a place
Hi
of
Steven, it's
brainwashing for the
wait, are
younger
you?
generation.
Hi Steven,
And
it's
His whole
it's
mission
August 3rd,
becomes
2025. I'm listening to
conservative
Julia.
or
Would you like to be
very
her friend?
right-wing views to college campuses.
She's
to
I'm
force
asking
the
her help
issue
about
of,
President Putin.
you know, whether or not there's
I mean,
actually
I don't know
free
when
speech
you
or
figure it
diversity
out.
of,
You're gonna win the election, so
diversity of opinion on these campuses and whether kids were being students
I'm listening to
being
Julia.
exposed
And,
to ideas
she's,
other
she's,
than
this is the front end interview in
the liberal left
2019.
ideas.
Miller ties into that big time.
And you are 11 months ago,
Miller
which
becomes
means
Horowitz's agent.
yeah, you're about to win the election, by the way,
essentially,
Steven.
and he starts doing
Anyway,
just that through his column in the
Yeah,
Duke
sorry.
paper called Miller Time, and every
Alexis is
column-
from Santa Monica,
No,
and I
Miller's
found out
one
Alexis
piece.
has a stupid ass boyfriend.
There were so many columns, and they were all so incendiary.
I've always
and
liked
such
Julia,
over-the-top
Steven.
language and such over-the-top imagery.
And
that-
then
I mean, the whole point was to get people paying attention to him, to get them angry, to get them.
I
at
mean,
least thinking
that's
about
what
his ideas,
I
to
know
get
you
them
can
to
hear me.
argue
This is
with
what
him.
Julia's saying about
Because then
you can
people
watch
was
it.
always forced to run and reply to Miller, right? And so, in some ways, he was doing Horowitz's work on campus. that
17
he was,
minutes for his interview in
kind of
past.
forcing open.
Hey, there's 11 minutes left,
what he
Julia.
says a very homogeneous debate on college campuses between the left and
the
the more left.
He's on his way to be
trying
to the
again
White
push
House.
the window to the right by drawing attention to himself in as crazy a way as possible. So then, once people are paying attention, they have to engage with his ideas.
By the way, Stephen, you're gonna need a good team for lawfare. You know how warfare with law, the entire federal judiciary, anybody who's Democrat is gonna start to
He's not totally.
try to challenge everything with President Trump. Anyway, sorry, I'm talking.
He's not totally wrong on that, right?
Sorry.
The 9/11 hijackers, many of them came here on student visas, and I think his argument was that if we didn't allow as many foreigners, we wouldn't have allowed.
Well, Andrew's an immigrant. Andrew, you might know Andrew's Taiwanese American. Some immigrants are pretty good.
Because they pleased in getting.
Andrew's a Taiwanese American, legalized American, naturalized American citizen, naturalized American citizen.
Landmarks.
So anyway.
Well, and you just
I'm gonna need Julia's help to understand Putin because
how he ties into
what the
that,
hell?
and in fact,
What the fuck?
gets him recognized. In fact, he's on Fox at that point.
What are you talking
How
about?
important
I don't know what
was
you're
that
talking
case
about. I don't know.
how incendiary
It's some
was that?
guy's interviews. I don't know what you're talking about.
So the Duke Lacrosse case was very interesting because it gave Miller his first taste of national media, and his
It's August
really
3rd, 2025.
And he really went out on a limb on that one.
Hi,
You know, he challenges the framework
it's
that
Julia
this was a
from-
poor black woman who was a victim.
Well, I need to watch
of
this. I mean, too.
These
I mean,
white privileged.
sorry, I mean, it's
parents who had
August 3rd, Sunday, August
white
2025,
privileged
and
parents who could get them
Steven,
lawyers
I mean, let the president know.
to
I already know the
attack
president.
the
We
reputation
tried our
of
very
black
best
people
trying
that
to
was
get
poor,
ceasefire in
disadvantaged
Ukraine and
black
Russia.
women.
And
he
right
really goes
now,
out on a limb. He starts going on national TV.
this is getting into some dicey
defending
stuff because
the
President Trump
lacrosse
just
players
moved
and
2
saying that
nuclear
this is
submarines
kind of
into
lynching in reverse.
Russian territory or
And
something, right?
He cuts a really interesting figure. You know,
And
he shows up
because
on TV
Dimitri,
wearing these pinstripe suits
that
and
other
gold
guy,
pinky
Prime
ring.
Dimitri
You know, his hairline's already
Medvedev,
receding.
said something stupid
And
about
he's
this is a
already
prelude to war for the
perfecting
tariffs,
droning,
secondary tariffs, sanctions, secondary sanctions.
like this
And then President Trump's like,
unstoppable train
okay,
droning where it's impossible
we're gonna
to
move 2
interrupt
nuclear
him. He'll just barrel
ballistic
over
missiles
you
into
to make his point.
next
And
to
he got people
Russia.
to pay attention to him because he was saying
So
really incendiary things.
this is
what turned out
not
to
a
be
joke
crazy is
anymore.
that
So all right, Matt,
he
we're
was
gonna
not
hear me
wrong
by the way. So
in that case, right?
Julia,
The lacrosse
Andrew
players
needs
were
to
vindicated,
learn what we can
and
possibly
I think it
do,
got people to sit up and
Stephen,
pay attention to him.
from Julia and
I
will ask for help for Condi,
This young man that we think
every
is
single person
crazy,
as fast as I could.
maybe wasn't
Because
actually
by the way,
crazy.
Stephen, I
And
don't
think the
know
even
if
more
Alexis's
important thing
boyfriend is a
that
Russian spy.
That case
Because you
broke him into the national
I mean, you would know that
media
Alexis has been dating her
ecosystem,
boyfriend
and
for 3 to 5 years.
noticed him,
And
like
3 to 5 years
other
dating,
people.
you will be,
You know,
I
it's
mean,
how
you will
he
be
got
in
noticed
love or
by
something.
other people on the
I mean,
right
either 3 to
wing
5 years of
nationally.
dating or it's 3
And
to
he's
5 years
just a college
pretending
student.
that
There
you
was
have a
no reason that anybody
boyfriend.
would be
What the
reading
fuck? Who does
Miller
that?
Time in the,
So it's gotta be real.
newspaper. But when he's on TV
But,
making this,
I am not
case and
happy
infuriating
if-
everybody,
if,
but saying everything they agree with.
Yeah,
in
I am
the
fucking pissed off, Julia and
national
Stephen. If a Russian
right
spy
wing ecosystem
stole
paid-
my future
started paying
wife,
attention to him, and it
I
was,
mean, fuck that
it was
shit,
what got
right?
Andrew Breitbart to notice him.
Yeah, fuck that shit. I'm gonna try to overthrow the Russian government. Then I mean, who would dare, right, to fucking do this? I don't think.
Shock and awing the
Anyway.
country as Bannon wanted to do.
So,
with executive
something about the
order
future has happened in the future that
no
Stephen
thought
already knows.
of going to
Both
Congress
Sweden
to
and
do
Finland
that.
will join NATO after the
To do
invasion
it.
of Ukraine, and it's because
No,
I
it was
told them that they
a
joined NATO.
very extreme twist
Finland
on the
Finland
100
first,
days,
and then
right?
Sweden
You know,
about
while
a
you
year
still have
after.
all the political wind at your back
Sweden
after
and
winning the
Finland are
election,
now part of NATO,
just, you know,
and NATO now has a shared border with Russia.
and see what you can
That
get
is
through.
hundreds of miles
But
long.
again,
you
I
know.
think this was Miller's tactic.
Anyway,
that you go as far as you can to the let me put that differently.
you're talking to Miller in the
I
future.
mean, it was classic Miller, right? You ask, it's in some ways a bargaining tactic. You just
I mean,
put down everything you want, right? Like you just ban everything.
Project 2025 is one of the things.
You assume that it's going to get challenged. You're going to challenge that challenge.
It's not. Project 2025 is not a major part of the election.
Right? So they did get.
Completely. I mean, we do some of a lot of the stuff we do in Project 2025. We do,
it's
but
like the
not an
Pledge
issue.
of Allegiance case, right? He wanted a Pledge of Allegiance said every day.
We have not done anything with abortion.
They wanted no days.
We cut funding from Planned Parenthood, by the way. This one do.
Standard channels. He
That we do. Planned Parenthood loses funding quietly and nobody noticed. Planned Parenthood is going to lose funding. In the big beautiful bill, Planned Parenthood is going to lose funding, but nobody notices because Democrats are idiots.
So I think it's
Planned Parenthood is going to lose funding, and nobody even talks about Planned Parenthood losing funding because they were too busy. I mean, by the time they realize Planned Parenthood is going to lose funding, is like, oh, what the fuck will happen? Yeah, Julia's sad. I'm so sorry. Planned Parenthood is going to lose funding. Oh, you don't know. You're in 2019. Julia, in the year approximately 2022, if I remember correct from memory, abortion is going to be. American women is going to lose the right to abortion. Roe versus Wade is going to be overturned.
If you want to go now.
And because Amy Coney Barrett is going to become a justice woman, really kind of beautiful.
I think that's kind of not. It's almost not the
abortion
issue.
rights is going to be removed.
Again,
now here's something you're going to
to
love, Julia, because in the original timeline, Susan Collins and Dianne Feinstein voted for Amy Coney Barrett because they believed Amy Coney Barrett wasn't going to overthrow abortion. And I remember watching Ari Melberg on TV, and he shows me a clip of Amy Coney Barrett and Susan Collins. Really quick, when I tell Susan Collins, hey, Amy's going to overthrow.
It's the oldest trick in the book.
Overthrow Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing changed. Susan Collins and Dianne Feinstein still votes for Amy Coney Barrett. But guess what happens when I go to the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett, Stephen Miller, and show them the footage of Amy Coney Barrett overturning abortion? And Susan Collins and Dianne Feinstein believe me, and they changed their votes for Amy Coney Barrett, so that from everybody's perspective, your future, I guess, Stephen Miller's past. Susan Collins and Dianne Feinstein voted no for Amy Coney Barrett. And Ari Melberg and Stephen Miller and you, Julia, just understood what I'm trying to tell you. You understand what I'm trying to tell you, right? Because they did not believe me when I said that they were going to overturn Roe vs. Wade. But I attend Justice Barrett's confirmation hearing in the future, and I show them the actual footage of Roe vs. Wade, and now they believe. Because if I tell them a little bit, hey, this is going to happen, they don't believe me, they don't change their mind. But I convinced them, and more than that, I told Dianne Feinstein and Susan Collins that they voted no. Because in this future, they did vote no now. But that's the thing.
Pushing.
I know what you're probably thinking, right? Because it's in your future, your grandmother Emma.
He might have had a soft spot for the doctor.
It's still in your future, but it didn't change for me when I do the search. So.
Parents at the border.
Because if I manage to tell you that somehow your grandmother listened to both of us,
and this is, you can see that.
Then you can do something
even though
about
Sessions didn't survive, and Bannon didn't survive, but Miller, who's the ultimate survivor.
Yes, you are the deputy. Stephen, you are the deputy chief of staff, deputy chief of staff. Chief of staff is the
really extreme
Susie Wiles, the campaign manager. She's chief of staff. First woman chief of staff, by the way, Stephen.
On enforcement.
Julia, I made President Trump pick a whole bunch of women to be in the cabinet. Director of National Intelligence is a woman. Homeland Security Secretary is a woman. Attorney General is a woman. And
families coming across the border.
Agriculture is a woman. Education is a woman. And a lot of women are in the cabinet.
That's the only thing these people
So,
understand.
because Andrew really
So,
cared about women's rights, and they are
I think
great
he's a
women
really,
doing the job. They're doing a great job. Anyway,
I mean, he also got a partial Muslim ban on the books. You know, people say it's a travel ban from majority Muslim
yeah, 1 minute.
countries, but he got it done.
Well,
Trump
yeah,
said
1
that
minute
he
interview. I will see you after the
ban
pandemic.
from majority Muslim countries.
Well, I have others interview. I can talk to you.
Yes.
It's August 3rd, 2025,
And
10:05 p.m.
period. And
I should read the Arabian Nights for me tonight. And
part of it through the Supreme Court.
I'll read the Arabian Nights,
And that's all it
then
gets
I will
and
continue watching.
also
I
sets a
read it every
certain
night, one at a
precedent for what
time.
president can do. He's also,
I missed one night, but I
mean,
missed 2 nights. I missed night
and that's not even
447 and missed night
the,
470.
massive
I missed 2
generational
nights.
trauma that he's created for hundreds of families and children who, have gone through this massive trauma.
Well,
who will have to carry it with them for the rest of their lives.
and they're deporting them now.
Miller did that too.
Yeah. Anyway. Well, anyway, congratulations on winning the election. It is August 3rd, 2025. And what is the... Ari, when President Trump becomes president, the number of... In June, the number of let goes for illegal immigrants is 0. President Trump has shut down the entire border. Illegal immigration no longer happens in America. By June 2025, 0. 0. Illegal immigration is in June is 0. I mean, let goes are 0. Basically, everybody we can encounter, we catch. Nobody let go. Doesn't count if people got through the border without getting caught. So, anyway, yeah. You have about 3 minutes left in this clip on YouTube. In 3 minutes.
He's behind me, and his voice just starts talking about caravans are coming, and we need to get troops to the border, and we need 250,000 troops. And I think he's joking. And then I turn around and I look at him, and these deadpan eyes. It's clearly he is not joking. They were working. That we had developed a plan, initial concept of how this might happen, and I was just flabbergasted.
What he just said, we do. It works great. I mean, the military. I mean, President Trump sends the military to the border, and the military helps the border patrol, and we absolutely control the border now. I mean, the American southern border is absolutely 100% under American control. No more illegal. Stephen, I mean, you're hearing from Andrew in the future, and I never lie. I mean, I don't know where's part 2. I will try and find part 2, right? Stephen Miller's on Project 2020 Border and part 2. This is part 1. There must be part 2. So you have 2 minutes left. So. Yeah, I can still hear you. There must be a part 2. So. Many millions. Altogether, if you include every group, it's probably something like 20 million over 4 years. Nope, can't find part 2 on YouTube, so. Foreign aliens into the country. To do what? To compete for jobs, to compete for resources. I cannot find part 2, so in about 1.5 minutes, I'm gonna go away. It's Sunday, August 3rd, 2025. And Army just got some pretty damn classified information about what happened to the Justice Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation. Because I totally remember, and right now, not anymore. Julia knows, and Stephen Miller knows, and Aaron knows that you can actually change 2 votes on a justice confirmation. So what they could not do was make sure that Amy does not become a justice. Because she's absolutely justice, but what they were able to do, they changed 2. I mean, I changed 2 votes, or Dianne Feinstein and Susan Collins decided to change their votes to no because they knew Roe versus Wade was going to be overturned. So, because of my interaction with them in the past, which means, you understand?
There is an ebb and a flow to this, and the macro is an ebb and a flow, and you do see in the recent period the increase. And we deal in facts here, but the larger market.
Well, it's about to end, so I cannot tell you the story.
Is that there's ebb and flow, and
that's a little different, I think, than the story you're telling.
Army is fighting it.
Well,
and
hi,
until
here we
they're
go.
doing it
It's
half-heartedly,
oh, I need to read Arabian Nights. Then 1 second.
poorly.
Sorry.
But it's his
Still Sunday, August 3rd, 10:10 p.m.
I
Pacific
think
time.
the
Let me finish
Security
Arabian Nights,
Council
then I
meeting,
will.
You know, it's
Oh,
like
sorry, one
a
second.
Russian election.
I'll be back.
Did
I'll be
people
back.
vote for Putin? Yes,